making no sense to make dollars and holler. On our grounds, rounds leave Moors dead in parlors. So-called blacks call them cracker, then get called Canadian, and shun Moors that say they're not Canadian. This world is full of crazy men with no knowledge of self, but got the most expensive cars and flat screens on the wall shelf, going all the way to try to help you change what you won't. And I hardly hear your opinion of Marcus Garvey, but Steve Harvey stands out, true, cool, and jester, making a fool of you and himself for wealth. To me, those sellouts need to get bodied or exiled to Dr. Moreau's island with Gentiles and reptiles. Fake slave ships stacking bodies in piles, giving fake Jews slave respect, not giving me smiles, calling children kids, chasing after Taji guys, supremacy, use albino and half-breed spies. We catch trespassers with razors and mesh, pedophile torture, scotch bonnet and open flesh. Traitors get the shitty end of the stick. Our leaders murderers should have been crushed with pyramid bricks. Huey Newton and Hampton killers should be in front of a squad shooting by any means necessary. Get out the beast belly. Why y'all get mad gory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into that category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or Lori, making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in that category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or Lori, making me comments mad derogatory. It's all about balance, my art the beam. Sellouts made it mainstream. Underground is almost unseen. Gay A&R signed the rappers' contracts in blood. Took his soul, body didn't fall with a thud. He's a zombie, dyed hair, dress wearing thug. Burn that garbage, too much to sweep under the rug. Police can't collar a crime without snitches. You're lucky to escape the custody, not dead with just stitches. Make you hit your hair, take Hindus to Ganesha, possess ya, and raising your blood pressure. Anything to do with Moors, they don't want you near. Don't search where it's black, you won't find it there. No matter how much you beg, they won't tell you where. No matter how much you don't have, they won't tell you here. Negroes weren't the first slaves, no reparations first. While you wait for your reparations, it looks like a hearse. They won't pay you reparations anyway, only if you agree to make yourself black and gay. Instead of towards Moors, they want you to stray. Won't find your mind when it's in disarray. Thinking being European is the only way. Hurling insults at your creator, she will get you later. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into that category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or Lori, making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in that category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or Lori, making me comments mad derogatory. What's the reason for the treason is the question and the lesson. I hear most professing, but really possessing. Taking minds messing with thought patterns and pathways. Nero wanna be a hero when they really cipher, not Neo, not Morpheus or Gillen finding Nemo. Selling out with no remorse, you and yours. Calling you black, showing you who's the boss. Always marching, but never thought to the police force or do like Haitians. Add some voodoo, of course. You might hurt them unexpected. It could be bloody. Feel yourselves curl and your hair stand from walking duppies. Looked, all of a sudden, judge yelled and wept. In court, judge with cold sweats and throat strap. He can't talk yet, cause the candle was lit before I left. Forget Africa. Hip hop was the grand theft. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in that category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or Lori, making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in that category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or Lori, making me comments mad derogatory.
And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're fully aware and awake to what's going on in this world. That's what conscious rap means. So if you got conscious rap, that means you got unconscious rap. That means you got motherfuckers that's unconscious rapping. That means they sleeping. They still under the spell of Leviathan. They still under the spell of King.
Call me brother man, I'm not the rubber man. Though I keep my Nazis in affairs wrapped with some rubber bands. Burning out the Ku Klux Klan and with the Grand Dairy Queen misters. Just butts of guns I'm giving, trying to make more sovereign citizens. These minions help kill your prophets, stole your treasury millions. You heard it from your brother man. Now the smother sell out. Test links in K2 Kush days keep me red out. I got the knowledge to make these silly hoes question the pimping directors of music videos. Gaylords and persons with strap-on boots with heels. Too much graphic art faces, boobs are not real. Since MCM and Troop, they use Timberland boots to get us all caught up in fashion, not the simple men roots. Got our people on dogmatic, not metaphysic. Exoteric, not esoteric is how you missed it. So out of it, you couldn't feel the natural mystic blowing through the air like it didn't give a shit. I hear the dirty Moors dissing, cause I said profanities. A lot of these grand sheets need to take off the panties. Pull the thong out your crack vest, wearing sash, nigga. Return to where the prophet found the Negro, what's that, nigga?
It's time to choose a side. You either positive or you negative. You either evil or you good. You understand what I'm saying? Choose a side, nigga. I know what side I'm on.
I throw a Molotov at the priest that works for the beast. All they want is our people to rest in peace. No intention of allowing more stress to ease. Cracker won't go home to spread himself the disease. Genocidal epidemic kill us in high proportion. Instead of mummified, we stay boxing coffins. Mayors attend funerals for PR purposes. Where's the police escort? He replied with nervousness. He said, I don't have those numbers or connections to have Metro Police lead your friend's funeral procession. That's coming from Mr. Mayor, black community player, no question in the hoods, dropping out boxes of weapons. Then blame black on black crime or natural causes. Plus those doctors aren't on point but off a bit. Natural mystics prove they're not holistic. Hypocrite oaths make your children autistic.
I'm at the point now where I'm saying I'm tired of mixing the medicine with the food. I'm tired of playing that game. Now I'm shoving straight medicine down your fucking throat, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Straight doses of medicine and getting shoved down your throat. I don't give a fuck if it turns you off or not. Because if it do turn you off, then you're stupid, ignorant motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Don't judge like a cover of your favorite book. Visit you in your dream can with the hook. Paralysis overtook. So shook, stop, look, listen with precision. MC on a mission, vision, past senses and endless. Cypher with active Moors, beat you with facts senseless. Have your mind defenseless when the truth enters. Outflow reminds me of Omar Bay, Algonquin embers. Tap your pie and meal out what some man remembers. All the lies told to your mind dismembers. Circle broken into quadrants, either 7 in the center. Compass G between the square. Baphomet of Templars, Warlock. Call on my witch mothers to maim them. The same wise spirits burned at stakes in Salem. Torture with vagina peers survive, bobbing for apples. Taught thumb slide, wrist out, tight shackles.
I always got something deep to say. Every time around. I always got something deep to say. Every time around. I always got something deep to say. Every time around. I always got something deep to say. Every time around.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors of men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized, dirty Moors, tongues cut out, left earless. Cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnappers, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off. Disrespecting the mother Raz Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw them off a bridge or feed them to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin bait, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorant, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same land, man. Canaanland is actually bigger than the land that they know is the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, They can just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to Green. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear hoarse voices, see frog faces, and who's for feet. Demons we run with, spit fire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing, forget back teeth, Lemurs are an issue. Get Ginsu, maybe a dream visit from Ishnu, a nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo, dealing with my trust issues through vigilance. Active Moors are militants, SPLC dirty Moors call that sovereign citizen. Lying for views, they notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen base sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts for teaching birthright street level, keeping it beat nuts.
To any members of the MSPA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MSPA. I got issues with the
Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirty's guilty of fraud if dually scrutinize their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Handing their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors, knowledge the Commonwealth. Dirty's claim more, but really on the straw man help. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little Moors, two status syndicates. In more face, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island are lying so intricate.
long days and long nights. But this message needed to be heard.
This message needs to be heard. This message needs to be heard. It's real crazy, but we're here to keep it sane. We're here to keep it sane. We're here to level the playing field because you've been dealing with cheaters the whole time, calling themselves Moors. You've been dealing with game players. You can play around all you want, say whatever you want to say. But when it comes to Moors who you should take serious, there's very ample amount of Moors. The difference is that the true faithful Moors, they don't care about stripes and views and whatever. They're just living as Moors, being their ancient forefathers in 2018. But some people want to keep you in slavery. Some people want to keep up that lie that the Moors enslave people by enslaving you today. Whether they're enslaving your spirit, your soul, your body, your mind, whether they're enslaving your ether cord to the Creator, whether they're whatever it is, anything that they get a chance to claim possession of, that you're not claiming, trust me, they're claiming. And what they're doing, they're claiming through people who look just like you, selling out your birthright to the highest bidder, openly to the highest bidder. So everybody saw the upload. If you didn't see the upload, go to Canaanland Moors, go check the recent upload. And from when we were on Facebook 2-3 years ago, they're posing in rooms and stuff like that, saying that they got a court and all of that stuff. And Moors who study, Moors who say they know their self or whatever, taking these people serious. And then now, today, we're seeing they've been on some BS colonizer, whatever, enter, fool you. And they're on there with feathers on and stuff like that, trying to make a mockery of Moors. But we're not going to go too hard. We're going to slow down. And we want to bring onto the line. There's a lot more.
Islam, shit.
Yeah, peace. Yeah, more. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sure everybody can hear you too. Just put your appellation out there and
Islam family, peace and love. It's Setenra Bay.
peace more. So I linked you, and then you said that you didn't want to deal with this because you've been on the phone with this all day.
All day long, bro.
Now, what? Just for listeners' sake, you know what I mean? Because we already know what's the real deal with these people.
All right, so we going back up a year. We're going back up to a year ago. For people who've been following Canaanland for at least that, I did a pop-up show in Canaanland August 2017. And during that show, I spoke about a brother calling me, my wife, and a couple of other brothers street Moors. He referred to himself as a temple Moor, and then he pointed at us and called us street Moors. And, like initially I said, yeah, we was offended. We was feeling some type of way, but, we saw through his ignorance and we embraced it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't run from it. We embraced it. We'll be street Moors. Because it's our street Moors that's actually out here saving the people that's doing the work that needs to be done to keep our people, or to bring our people back into the constitutional fold of government. For everybody who saw the upload, the brother's name is Mahdi L. He claims to be a Moorish magistrate, the only Moorish magistrate in all of Northwest New Mexico. We do know that he definitely is a police chaplain. He works with the police district down at 17th and Montgomery.
Could you just explain police chaplain relative to like what the Moors equivalent of that would be?
What the Moors equivalent of that would be?
Yeah.
I don't know what the Moors equivalent of that would be, but I'll tell you exactly what that is. So now, and how I found this out is by going to the town hall meetings at the police station. We would go to the town hall meetings at the police station, and there would be 4 or 5 police chaplains in there. And initially, I thought that these police chaplains were cops. I thought they were just chaplains. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's a part of the clergy. Well, that's not necessarily the case. What the case is this. They are clergymen who are clothed with limited police powers by the police department. So when the things are going down in the community and in the neighborhood, that's who the police are going to get in contact with. Because especially, let's just say it's an uprising, right? And we're trying to get things popping, they're going to call the police clergy to calm us down. Now, if something's going on in the neighborhood, the police clergy is going to inform the police about who it is, what's going on, and things of that nature. So without a shadow of a doubt, everybody knows that he's police clergy. He never made that a secret. He's the police chaplain. Now, talking about more science, you got to know that chaplain is a Roman title. I'm just saying, if you do any studying, you know that chaplain is a Roman title. And he's walking around, parading around, proudly saying that he's a police chaplain. The brother also works with the Department of Human Services, dealing with people's children, and behavioral services. That's the whatever that department is, who come through taking people's children.
Right.
We know that he works closely with them. I exposed all of this in a class at the York House maybe about 8 months ago, because some information had come across my desk that he put on a record back in 2013. So the brother that you saw in the video today, Mahdi L, the police chaplain, the only Moorish magistrate in Northwest New Mexico, went to the county of Philadelphia, to the corporate county of Philadelphia, and put on the record that anybody who was not a part of what he was a part of doing is not a Moor. Anybody who comes down here with any kind of paperwork other than this paperwork that we're providing is a paper terrorist. He put that on the record. Now, let's backtrack to a year ago, maybe just over a year ago, July 17th. The brother called me. I didn't know who he was. I had heard of him, but I didn't know who he was. He called me, and we talked about an hour. And he was telling me, listen, brother, I need that part of what y'all have to make what I'm doing complete. So I'm like, all right, you know me, I'm willing to build with any more that's trying to do anything that's going to uplift our community and our fallen humanity.
Right.
So I go and I sit and I talk with the brother. And that's when he started throwing shots, calling us street boys and all of this nonsense. But what I realized is that he knows nothing of the law. Even though he's a magistrate, he knows nothing of the law. He knows nothing of jurisprudence or anything. And he admitted that himself. But I realized that just by his language, that he didn't know anything about that. He admitted, all right, I'm more on the quote unquote religious side of things, not the lawful side of things, or even know anything about jurisprudence. But again, I say he's a Moorish magistrate. So how can you be a magistrate if you don't understand law or jurisprudence? So time goes on, and I'm like, all right, you know, things ain't gonna work out. So I push on, and you know, no communication between him and myself, no communication between me or his wife or anybody. And then after I come back from Drew Ali Day this past January, the very next week we got class at the York House, and that's when he came in with the guys from the temple. And I'm not sure. I don't know if I spoke publicly about that or not, but that's when the guys from one of the temples in Philly came in, and they actually had the nerve to try to talk to people in the York House and to come into their temple. So we addressed that. But he came in with them on that mission to get people to come from the York House back to the temple. That was their mission. So now we already know that this guy is not right. And because of his affiliations, we know that we can't really trust him. I mean, you work it. I mean, I admit, and I'm saying this right now on your live show, I do go to the police town hall meetings in different districts because I want to know what's going on in the communities and what the police are doing and what they're talking about doing. That's totally different than working with them in any kind of capacity like he does. I want to say 3 weeks ago at the last class at the York House, his brother shows up. And I asked a question about something here on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway down here in Philadelphia. And most people can recognize that. That's the long strip with all the flags from all the different nations. And I asked a specific question about a specific flag, why it was where it is. And nobody can answer me. So I said to the class, I said, y'all are going to make me do a whole other Philly tour outside of the one that we do with Ras Ben. Now it was said in humor, we was joking and laughing, but this guy speaks up. He raises his hand, and I'm thinking that he actually has something to say. So here's what his comment is. Now, Sheik, you've been here and you've done a Philly tour with us, with the brother Ras Ben.
Yeah.
Not only did you do the Philly tour here with Ras Ben has also come to Canaanland and done No Drew Ali Day.
Right.
This brother comes out of his mouth and says, listen, me and my wife do a Philly tour and y'all don't support us. He said, but you go on a Philly tour with Ras Ben, and Ras Ben ain't even a Moorish national. So then I'm going to stop him. All right, hold up, brother. You a visitor right here. Ras Ben is family. Watch your mouth. But this brother proceeds to raise his voice and get loud and start talking crazy against my brother, and I'm not having that. It got to the point to where I looked at the person operating the camera, and I told him to turn it off. Because what's about to happen don't need to be on camera. I walked over to the table where he was at. Now, his mother-in-law was sitting there and his daughter was sitting there. So I cooled out a little bit. But I still had to raise my voice and make it known to him, listen, cool the hell out. You know what I'm saying? We talked about what we were going to talk about. I shut him down, and then he left. He came back with the same negative energy not long after. And his question was, why is it nobody wants to deal with me? So I flat out told him, I said, the reason nobody wants to deal with you is because we know you ain't shit. We know you got an agenda. You come, see, once I thought about the shit, I realized what he came to do on that day was disrupt.
Like there was definitely an agenda in place.
Had to be. Because he came early and then he left. And then he came back with 15 minutes left to go into class. And when he came back, that's all he did was create a disruption. So then he left, and when he came back in with it. So I flat out told him, I said, nobody deals with you because you ain't shit, and we know you ain't shit. And forgive my language, but I just got to be straight with y'all. Y'all know me. I'm a straight shooter. I'm a straight shooter. Right? So now, he said something else. And whatever it was he said just set me off. And I started using a couple of choice words. And I asked him, I said, bro, who do you think you are to file some paperwork like when you filed down in City Hall to say that we are paper terrorists? So this brother got this smile on his face, which was really like my fire. And he gonna sit there and try to justify his reason for putting that paperwork on the record. How you gonna listen, man? How you gonna say whoever is not a part of what you are part of is a paper terrorist and they're not a Moor? Well, do you realize that that is our birthright? Do you realize what you're talking about? What you're talking about, what you've done is paper terrorism. That's committing treason against your own people. But he literally tried to sit there and justify it, which was really setting me on fire. So I had to flag him and walk away from him. And the more and more I walked away, the louder and louder he got. So then, well, you know what? We won't go past that. But the point that I'm making is this. what I realized, and it took a lot of deep breathing, and it took a lot of me being grabbed and held.
Oh yeah, speak before you go on. Speak on that right there. Speak on that for the Moors who have that line that they would go over just because they're Moors, or that, you know what I mean? They're not.
All right, so
you know what I mean? Deal with that.
Let me say this. Let me say this to the family. Let me say this to the people. You got to understand that there are always going to be people that are sent in to disrupt. And you got some people like myself who want to handle people who are sent in to disrupt. But every time ain't the right time. So sometimes you got to take a deep breath and you got to take a step back. And you got to really reevaluate the situation. You got to look at the situation for what it is. This person is here to cause a distraction, to cause disruption. We don't need that. Because if we act the way that we're supposed to act in that situation, then we lose. Now, November 15th will make 5 years that I've been in the York House doing classes on Moorish science. Had I reacted that day, that would have been the last day that we had that venue to do classes on Moorish science. Now, possibly that could have been his agenda, to come in there and cause that disruption and get me to flip. So then he can say, well, you know, blah, 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 blah. And now we're out of the York House. Yeah. So when a situation comes up like that, and believe me, it wasn't easy. Believe me, it was not easy to sit there and take a deep breath and say, but it was necessary. At this point now, he can come to the York House all he wants. And I'm saying this on a live show, so if he hears it, or anybody he knows calls him and says, hey, listen, I ain't going to argue with him again. I'm going to simply go get security and say there's somebody causing a disturbance, and I need him to go. Because if I react, then we lose. And we already know he's working with the police, so he's probably going to try to get me booked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to think about all of that. You got to think about all of that type of stuff before you react and before you move. But the reality of it, man, is when you look back, you see the things that he does. You see the way that he moves. He's down in South Beach. Yeah, everybody heard his wife, Poetic Debate, talking about, yeah, we down in South Beach. This brother was down in South Beach doing baptisms, charging people $300 for baptisms on the beach. $200-300 for a baptism. Hey, listen, man, I can take some water and throw it on my own forehead, bro, for free. You understand? But this is what he was doing. So now I'm gonna tell you what I envisioned. When I watched this video last night, I got the video about 11 something last night. When I watched the video last night, here's what I saw, She. And I'm gonna say this for everybody to hear. You draw your own conclusion. COINTELPRO operates however they're gonna operate. Whatever they can do to cause a disruption and to cause a disturbance and to cause distractions, they will do it. You got to realize this guy is said that he's a Moorish magistrate, that he has his own venue. Why are you on TV, on Fox, on divorce court, right? Now, everybody saw the video. Now, one time during the video, did they mention anything about a goddamn divorce?
Yeah.
Not one time did they mention anything about a divorce. All they talked about was his fat girlfriend, him being promiscuous, him not wanting to work, and then she not wanting him to work, and him playing a tambourine, and all this other nonsense. You got to understand that COINTELPRO moves how they move. What that did was put a severe black eye on the movement. Because everybody who doesn't wear a turban in a fest said, that's exactly why we don't deal with them now. All you got to do is go back to the video and read the comments under the video. That's precisely why. Now, he's on there laughing and joking. He's walking around with a staff. He said he's a disabled vet. I ain't never seen that guy with a staff walking around ever. But he's walking around with a staff like he needs it to walk. I've never seen this guy with a staff or a cane or nothing. Never. But now he's a disabled vet. He needs a staff. And he's on here acting like an idiot, swinging his tassel around like a goddamn clown on TV for everybody to see. A L and a bay. So when people say, yeah, the bays and the L's, people who don't know anything about bays and L's, that's the first thing that's going to come in their mind. That video. Oh, this? No, I ain't dealing with that. I ain't dealing with that. That's a complete distraction. Here we are talking about this nonsense when we should just be talking about something that's going to uplift the nation. But instead, we got to talk about people who are in place to tear down the nation. That's what just happened with man, listen, that's one of the worst things that could have ever happened. Divorce court. Listen, the lady who the quote-unquote judge, she was on there laughing and having a good time. She didn't even make a ruling if they going to get divorced or stay together. She said, I'm done. Tapped the gavel and walked off the goddamn stage. Excuse me. And then Poetica, at the end, she said, man, she was up there looking sexy.
Yeah.
Someone did she want to be down with our threesome.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Do you know that see, that's when you got to start talking about the psychology of things.
Exactly.
People see that. People hear that. And that's what people are going to associate with more anyway. So as soon as they, oh, no. You talking about the girl that was on there talking about she want to smash the judge? Oh, no, I ain't coming to none of those classes. And this is what we got to deal with. See, so don't think that it was just that show. That show was just the latest thing in his little repertoire, whatever he got going on. Because like I done already told you, this guy works with the police. This guy works with DHS. This guy works with behavioral services. He'll make it seem like he's doing all this community service and all of this other stuff. He ain't doing the damn thing, man. He ain't doing the damn. And would you believe that this brother had the nerve to say to me, y'all doing these classes, and I'm the only Moorish magistrate in all of northwestern Mexico. That means all of North America. He said, if y'all are not talking about me, what are y'all talking about? Well, goddamn it, now we talking about you, bro. Now we talking about you. Because you made a fool out of yourself and you made a fool out of all of us. Your wife made a fool of herself and she made a fool out of all of us. The nonsense that they were talking, man. Him and his fat Felicias, he got 3, 4 fat girls. Are you serious? Are you serious? That's what y'all on TV talking about? With everybody sitting there shaking their head and discussing disbelief. It wasn't even entertaining. It was a goddamn shame. In my mind, that's COINTELPRO at its finest, bro. They don't have to come in shooting anymore. They don't have to do what they did to Fred Hampton. They shot Fred Hampton down. They don't have to do that. They get people like him to do what he did, to do what he does. Listen, bro, do you know how many people all over the place get their paperwork handled, do whatever they need? If they need to file something, they can get it taken care of, no problem. Go right to the county recorder, do whatever. In Philadelphia and the territory surrounding Philadelphia, bro, they fight us like we got the plague because of the paperwork that he put on the record. 2013, and like I said, he literally tried to justify it in my face. I did it for my children, really. Really.
And he did what for his children?
He put that paperwork on the record saying that anybody who's not a part of what he's a part of is not a Moor. Listen, bro, where Chinese people go to be Chinese? Somebody tell me. I know y'all on the chat. Somebody go in the chat and just go ahead and type it in. Where do Chinese people go to be Chinese? What about Cubans? Where they go to be Cubans? And Russians, what they got to do to be Russians? Nothing. They just are. So how are you going to say who's more and who's not? You don't have the authority. You don't have the authority to say who's more and who's not. Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you working for? What's your agenda? What's the big agenda? To cause confusion, to cause disruption. You're talking about a magistrate. Hey, well, you think Judge Judy would ever go and judge Joe Brown? She don't need to. So why is the Moorish magistrate going on divorce court on Fox? And to make it even worse, his wife put it on her Facebook page for the whole world to see. How you going to be proud of that? I mean, real talk. How you going? Listen, I'm proud to say that I got a relationship with the Iron Sheik. I'm proud to say that I've been to Canaanland more times than I can count. I'm proud to say that I did 5 Jubilee days in a row in Canaanland and coming up on number 6. I'm proud to say that. How the hell are you going to be proud to say that you was on some stupid TV show with a fez on and you sitting here talking about threesomes and foursomes? Didn't the prophet say if you was going to be mixed up in foolishness to take that fez off?
Straight up.
But you love the prophet? Yeah, you call yourself a temple Moor and call me a street Moor and I know the rules and you don't? And he went on there with a black fez. Now, the other thing I forgot to tell you is he's the Grand Mufti. He's the head Mufti of all of Northwestern Mexico. That's what he tells people. That's what he tells people. And that's the fool he made of himself right there on TV and made a fool of all the rest. But now, you know we're going to be the laughing stock for a while. You know we got a lot of damage control to do. We got a lot of cleaning up to do behind that. Behind 20 minutes. We've been taken back a couple 100 years. I don't know what else to say about this, Sheik.
Islam.
Because I'll be sitting there ramming on him for the next hour. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, man. And like I said, he's going to sit there and smile and try to justify what he did. You can't justify that, bro. If you love your people, what you would have did was made it possible for everybody to do whatever they needed to do, even though that was the case before he did that paperwork. Moore's never had a problem doing anything. Although we know the circumstance with a Social Security card, although we know the circumstance with a driver's license, although we understand all of that, there was no problem previous to that paperwork for any more to go and have any of that taken care of and have their free national name put on any of that stuff. Now here, because of that paperwork he put in, you can't get a damn thing done, bro.
And that's based on him having that conflict of interest with being with the police too.
What do you mean? What do you mean about being with the police? What conflict?
Like, because if he's putting something on the record, what's he putting it on the record as? But if he's a chaplain for them,
right? That's how he put it on, as a chaplain. He filed it as a religious document, as a chaplain. Right. But where you ever heard of a Moorish chaplain, bro? That's a Roman term, man. That's a Roman title. That's not a Moorish title. That's a Roman title. Chaplain come from the Catholic Church. That's a Roman title, bro. He sat there and he told me, he bragged to me, and he bragged to my wife, and he bragged to the other 2 brothers that were there about his relationship with Mayor Kenny. That's the mayor of the corporate city of Philadelphia. Now everybody knows this guy is a cold-blooded cracker-ass cracker. Everybody knows that. But he's your buddy. He's your buddy. And he's a cracker-ass cracker. He's your buddy because he knows he can count on you.
When it hit the fan, when he need to know some information, he know he can count. He knows he can count on you. One sister said to me, "Well, if y'all know he's going to a pro, why y'all let him come around? You can't stop him. They're going to be there, whether it's him or the next one or the third one. They're going to be there." We do the same thing Il Hodge did. Yeah. Hey, we want to say hello to all the police that we can see, and we want to say hello to the ones y'all that's here that we can't see. Ain't no need to run from them. They gonna be there.
Right.
It's like I told the sis, we all got cell phones. It's just like him sitting in there with a recorder and running back saying Setenra said this and Cujo said that. People can see that video however they want to see it. I see it. I definitely see it as a COINTELPRO move. You got to understand, they'll do whatever they need to do to stop a movement. That right there will cause people to say, "I don't want nothing to do with them." Believe that. Y'all supposed to be smart. Y'all supposed to understand the law. You supposed to be this. You supposed to be that. But you on divorce court acting like that. Hey, she, do you know? Listen, I got somebody screenshot. Somebody took a picture of their TV screen today and sent it to me and said, "Oh my God, they're from Philly. Do you know them?" with 3 question marks. Right. So now I'm sitting there because I ain't going to lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So I had the dialogue for a whole hour. Just to
fix it, because they're
yeah. Listen, man. Hey, shit. Now that was just that one conversation, and I had 3 different conversations today with 3 different people who like, "Yo, you know about this?" "Yeah, I know about it." But if I just had 3, imagine how many going around across the whole joint. You all the way up in Toronto, bro. They might be in Montreal talking about it in French right now.
For real.
Like, what the hell is this? So now when they see us, and we serious and we sincere, and we true with the movement, they ain't going to want to hear it. Because of that, people really got to understand what that did. It served its purpose. They went on there, they looked like ashes, and they made the rest of us look like ashes.
Just because of them.
Just because of them. Bro, she said, "I wonder if that judge is sexy. I wonder if she's with it." Are you serious? Did you really say? I know they said making it. See, now here's the thing. People got to understand the rules to these shows, and please keep that in mind. It is a show. It's for entertainment purposes. That lady may have earned her black robe, but it's a show for entertainment purposes. I know people who've been on those shows. They pay for you to come, they pay for your lodging, and they compensate you for doing the show. The only requirement they got is that you keep it entertaining. Bruh, if Poetica is a poet, if Poetica is an artist, if Poetica is a songstress, why was she talking in fragmented sentences, man? Why was she sounding like she couldn't complete a sentence? Now, if she hears this, listen, man, I ain't hiding. You got my number. I'm not hiding. You want to find me? I'll be at the York House this Saturday at 12. I'm not hiding. But why is she on there sounding like she can't complete a full sentence? I've talked to this woman. She ain't dumb. But she says, "Well, he was married when I met him, and then we faded her out, and I became the wife, and I'm proud about that." So you're proud that you took somebody's man. You bragging about that on TV? How does that make our women look? We supposed to be holding up our women, man. Our women are the most disrespected people in the world. So how does that make our woman look? How you think he made his woman look? And then look at the rest of society. You wonder why they take us for a joke? Why they don't want to hear nothing we got to say when we come because of shit like that? And I ain't hiding, bro. I'm on live. I'll be at the York House Saturday as well. I'm not hiding.
So,
I yield the floor, man.
Just wanted to put this one out there. To all governors, grand sheiks, and head officials of temples, by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, has said the following during the first convention. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that the Moral Science Temple of America was organized to play a useful and defined part in advancement of the sacred obligation of American citizenship, as the Moorish Divine and National Movement was founded for the uniting of the Asiatic states of North America on May 1st, 1916, as this will have been the very first convention and most interesting one ever held in this city. So the work has been done. And take a big look at what people are trying to disrupt openly now. You know, they're in your face letting you know, yeah, I'm the sellout. Just like the people with the packages. Doesn't matter how many pages or whatever. Since they're talking about above 100 notes for some papers, something's wrong. Immediately. So you have to take the bull by the horns now. You can't rely on anybody or anything out there to put you onto this. So I just showed you the Moors that divorce court rep, right? On their show that people are gonna think is real. And that's just a show where they make the audience applaud. It's not real. She's not a real judge or something like that. She's banging the gavel like she's making some ruling of something. That's not real. Well, oh, let's get this one in there. Islam, are you still there?
I'm here, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna yield or you're chilling for a bit?
It's up to you, man. If you want me to.
Oh, don't worry, because I have another. Don't worry. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Just hold on. Don't hang up. Islam, peace. You there, Setenra?
Islam, I'm here, bro.
All right, yo. I got brother Mario Bay on the line. Islam, boy.
Islam, bro. Peace to the panel, bro. Islam, good brother. Peace and love, bro. Islam, you too, bro. I've been hearing you going in, bro. I've been hearing you. Hey, man, I was trying not to, man, but you got to get the people the information, man, so they know. You know what I'm saying? So they because in each one of our territories, there's somebody like that we got to watch out for. You know what I'm saying? They sitting there, they smiling and they joking and they acting like everything is everything, but it's not.
That's real. That is so real. Yeah, that is real. That is real.
Yeah. I told Cujo earlier today. What was it like this morning, Cujo? Right?
Yeah, this morning.
The minute I saw that video, I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to do my personal video on that. Like for real, I gotta break that down. Like what Brother Setenra didn't hit a lot of points on it already, but it's deep. You gotta peel those layers back. It's deep, bro. Deep.
Yep.
Hey, Brother Cujo.
Yeah, more.
I want to make sure everybody can hear me because I want to, if you don't mind, I want to kind of give my version. It kind of relates to Brother.
Yeah, no, for sure. Go ahead, more. Do your thing.
Yeah, no doubt. I just want to make sure they can hear me good. No static, no echoes, none of that.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, sound good to me. Now, okay, good. Now, look. This is what I saw.
of course, like Brother Setenra stated earlier, that it's COINTEL activity without a doubt. Now, I see the agenda is to push this function, like I've been constantly stating on my videos lately. The agenda is to push this function by associating national conscious Moors with unconscious idiots. That's what I see. To make them seem as if they're one and the same, when they're not. We may look the same, but we don't think the same. All right? So, if you look at the beginning of the video, I guess from like the 0 marker to like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, what you'll see is you'll see a Moorish. Now, check this out. Now, just see how silly this is. You see a Moorish chaplain. And like the brother stated earlier, that's synonymous with Catholicism. A Moorish chaplain that happens to be a disabled veteran that's in an open marriage with a Moorish sister that's tied to him for bringing fat women to the bedroom. All right? That's dysfunction. Right? That's dysfunction. They're trying to associate the feds, the ill and bay, with that sort of behavior. And that's not what it is. Now, on the surface, you see, regarding to the brother with the black feds, his appellation is Mahdi. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, on the surface, you see a religious, no good, two-timing black guy that wants what he wants. Now, that's on the surface for people that are not conscious. You just see really like a no good black guy that's just a two-timer. That's what you see on the surface. Now, what I see with her, what they're depicting, I see oversexed airhead. Okay? That's what I see. I see a woman that's an airhead and she's oversexed. It's like they're promoting lesbianism. They're promoting homosexuality, effeminate behavior, especially what the brother stated earlier about the tambourine playing. The only people I knew coming up playing the tambourine, you already know, the black church system.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I mean, that's who was known for it, right? So they were pushing more and more dysfunctional behavior. Now, mind you, check this out too, something else I picked out. They were from Philadelphia territory, am I correct? True. Okay. That's an attack as well. And let's go back to the First Continental Congress that was held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's an attack. So they're attacking more from all angles. Then you got the brother with the black feds on, representing Mufti, Mohammedan judge, law enforcer. And we know this guy does not enforce law at all. We know this. We know this. So from what I see sorcery. I see manipulation of people's minds. I see a push to have people to think a certain way about certain people. Now you got to ask yourself this as well. The woman, the so-called judge, the sister that was on the bench, I can't think of her appellation, but why? It was at a certain point where she made it her business to state that he had a headdress, a religious headdress on.
Yeah.
Why was that necessary? Because now think about this: if that was a so-called Jew with a yarmulke or a Hindustani with a turban,
it wouldn't even. Yeah. It wouldn't even matter.
It wouldn't even matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. What I see is an attack not only towards conscious national Moors, but to the Negroes, blacks, and colors. They're being attacked as well because those are the people that watch that show.
Right.
I don't watch that. When I look at shows like that, I'm analyzing. And when I saw that show, I was like, wow. Especially towards the end. You know, how they had how she was just so overly sexed and attracted to the so-called magistrate. And it's just all about sex. You know, the surface level, the surface level of them being married in us, you know, through the state. That's BS. That's low line right there. You gotta pull all the things back to see what I'm talking about.
But actually, just before you continue on, just let's put this out there too. Since these people say they follow Noble Drew Ali and all that, Prophet sends marriage law to all temples. All marriage ceremonies of members of the Moorish Science Temple of America must be performed by an ordained minister and the head of the temple. And any man desiring to take unto himself a wife and receive our Moorish rites, he must go to the city hall and receive his license to be registered in that city, county, and state. It then must be turned over into the hands of the aforesaid ordained minister and the head of the temple after it has been properly signed by city officials. The price thereby for such administering to man and wife will be $5. For all those who have their papers and desire our Moorish marriage ceremony, it is $3. We Moors cannot marry anyone, but we obligate you, according to our divine laws and covenant and the laws of the land. This must be proclaimed and made known to every temple, so there will be no misunderstanding. There will be no misunderstanding about I, the Prophet, and my teachings, because Allah alone binds two hearts together as a unit. These are the marriage obligations and instructions for man and wife. Chapter 22 from the Quran is to be read first to the husband. Chapter 21 is to be read secondly to the wife. These are the instructions of marriage from your holy Quran. Please obey the law as given to you by your Prophet through your governor, Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Islam.
So, and if this is public information, you know, there they go again, making it look like Moors are crazy, because Noble Drew Ali says that you don't marry, you obligate. So how are they in a divorce court if they got obligated? Because according to the presentation, these people are Moors.
Hey, Sheikh, let's make one thing clear, just for the record for the people. They are Moors. They are Moors. They got that by birthright. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're conscious or awakened Moors. You understand? Because he sat there, and I'll say it. He referred to himself as a temple Moor and referred to me as a street Moor. How is it that I know the Prophet's law and you don't? You know, so me and Sabrina had our obligation ceremony in May of 2015. Nobody has ever heard me call it a wedding. Nobody has ever heard me say we got married. And you damn sure ain't gonna hear it while I was in divorce court. You understand? Well, that's her in the background line. But here, I see, this is what I'm saying. I need people. See, one thing that I do, man, is I listen. I'm attentive. I think I'm listening. I'm hearing everything that's being said. This brother said that he is a magistrate. He is also the same brother who admitted he knows nothing of the law. How can you be a magistrate and know nothing of the law? How can you refer to yourself as a temple Moor and you're 40-something years old and you're saying that you're almost 20 years involved and you don't know the Prophet's law? It's wrong. How? If you knew the Prophet's law, you wouldn't have went on divorce court. Whether it was for the finance, whether it was entertainment or anything. Prophet said if you're going to be involved in any folly, you take that fez off. You're going to be out drinking, take it off. You out clubbing, take it off. You out drugging, take it off. That was entertainment. That was entertainment. Now, if they were performing, then that's one thing. That was a different type of performance, man. That was buffoonery. Sure was. That was a buffoonery. They might as well have performed in blackface, bro.
Straight.
You're gonna ignore it. So if you're a Temple Moor, you basically gonna ignore everything that you were taught. Everything that and he just got shit on Facebook, posting on Facebook like he sold for the profit. So yeah, but you did that. Divorce court. Just like the brother said, divorce court. You're supposed to be obligated, not married. It's a difference. People got to understand that words have power. Words have meanings. And when you speak them, you give them energy. I'm like, it's like I told Sheik, Mario. I told Sheik earlier. I said, bro, I don't even want to talk about it. I've been talking about it all day. This guy does not deserve this much energy and time. I'm drained already. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? I'm drained already. Man, this guy doesn't deserve this kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? But the people, the point is, the people need to know. And see, I've had firsthand dealings with this guy. I don't know if you heard it, but you know, he came into the York House with a hell of a disruption, shouting out and disrespecting the brother Ras Ben. Ras Ben has never proclaimed and declared his nationality. But how are we going to not show Ras Ben respect when Ras Ben traveled to Canaanland to do Noble Drew Ali Day? And we're going to disrespect him? Come on, man, are you crazy? The brother traveled to do everybody else, with the exception of Rick Smith, that I know of, since I've been involved in Prophet Noble Drew Ali Day in Canaanland, has been a nationalized Moor. The brother Ras Ben has not proclaimed, but the brother Ras Ben is all in with us. All in. So we disrespect that. This is what he said. Ras Ben ain't even a nationalized Moor. Why y'all doing tours with him instead of with me? Because you ain't shit. Ras Ben's my man.
Love to that.
It's long. How you, Chick?
It's a lot more. Brother Mario, you got something?
Man, I yield too, man.
So there's a couple questions. If you're gonna stay on the line, we'll send a couple of these to you. Let me see. Okay, yeah, please, Mark.
I'm sorry, bro.
Go ahead.
Do you remember, I remember once upon a time, you couldn't even see, they wouldn't even show a Moor on television in that capacity without being beaten up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you feel where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
It's like it was all fun and games, you know. That was another thing that disturbed me. It was just all fun and games. Because I know anytime I've ever entered any of those buildings, it was never anything to laugh about. Never.
Shit.
It was just like a fun house for these people.
Yeah.
It was very weird. It was weird.
I mean, and that's what some of the Moors been saying. You know, we did a class talking about strange things. You know, strange things are happening. You know, and that was definitely a weird one. You know, like a real off the radar one. And then to top it off, huh?
I apologize, Mo. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'll wait. I just want to say that they openly mock us now. Like that's the thing now. It's open. They don't even hide it. It just to camel back off what Mario said and what you said earlier. She did make it her business to say that is a religious headdress that you're wearing. And just like you said, if there was a so-called Jew in there with his yarmulke on or anything else, they would have never said that. They would have never said that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And why didn't he go so far as to say it's my national headdress? I'm gonna nationalize more. Why was it not? Just like you said, it was buffoonery, man. It was. It got to the point to where the lady who was sitting on the bench was laughing and joking. She said, "I don't know about you having therapy, and I don't know about you having therapy, but now I need therapy." It was a joke. Yeah. It was a joke. And like you said, bro, anytime I've ever gone into any of them buildings, nobody ever, no, listen, you already know, we don't take the feds off. We walk through the metal detectors, we walk through whatever else. We walk into whatever tribunal we want to, any federal building or whatever. The feds does not come off. They don't even ask us to take it off. They don't even make mention of it. But on national TV, she brought that up.
Now, could you talk on could you talk on this then? What outside of that venue, just for Moors, what would be considered, acceptable conduct for Moors, whether it's like from a relationship perspective or, what they do for their occupation, whatever?
Islam. I'll say this. Whether you got on your fez or your turban, you are who you are. Especially if you carry the title El, Day, or Al. None of us should be carrying the title Ali. But if you carry one of those 4 titles, then it's already known who you are. People know. When they hear those titles, they know. So you should be carrying yourself with the utmost respect in your workplace, whether you on public transportation, whether you walking down the street, wherever you are. We should never, ever be in a predicament where somebody can look at us and shake their head and say, that's why I don't F with them now. We should never be in that predicament. If anytime we're dealing with the policy enforcers, anytime we're dealing with other Asiatics, anytime we're dealing with the Albion or the modern European, however you want to call them, always, it's like your mom said, when you around your mom and your grandma when you was young, you was on your best behavior. So be on your best behavior all the time. Yeah. Pretend your grandmother standing behind you. For any Moorish brothers that's listening to this, please, if you wear your pants hanging off your ass, pull them up, please. Don't have your belt fastened under your behind. I don't want to see your drawers. Nobody else want to see your drawers. Don't talk to your woman any kind of way in public. Treat your woman like she's a queen. What we seen yesterday was a disgrace. He made his woman look like a fool on national television. Not only are they watching it here, you think they ain't watching it in other countries? Laughing. She allowed it to happen, but the point is he did it. She allowed it, but he did it. Let me tell you something. You know me and Bree. You know us well. Yeah. You stayed at our house. We've been at your house. And you know how me and Bree joke on each other. She said me and Bree should have a reality show. But you can best believe nobody will ever hear or see me disrespect her. Ever. I don't even do it, and it's just me and her in here. Ever.
Islam.
Yeah, that goes back to the behavior thing, brother. I keep stressing that issue. We got to get out, together. This behavior. We got to get our behavior together. And like I said earlier, this is why they highlighted the buffoonery to associate the feds, the ill and they, with just your everyday average nigga. That's what they tried to do.
Yeah.
So when you have the average person watch that episode, there's no respect whatsoever towards Moors after seeing something like that. That's why I keep stressing that we gotta get our behavior together. We have to act like civilized human beings. If not, we'll continue to be treated like animals.
Now,
and that's how they act on that show.
Where's the, is there because we know that it's about representation, but is there a line that distinguishes those people who buffoon with this and then the ones who are dealing with it in its right perspective?
Repeat that for me, brother.
Like
yeah, I was about to say, repeat that again.
Is everybody going to be lumped together because of this one individual, or is there a line that actually separates the folly from, you know, is it really truth and truth and falsehood strangely mixed? For real?
You know the problem, Chief? That because it's us, and because of the indoctrination of our people, everybody's going to be lumped in. See, now take for instance this. Hebrew Israelites. I don't have any issue with my brothers, but some people see them as angry, and they always yelling and screaming. That might be a few of them. It might not necessarily be all of them, but because that's what people see, that's what people are going to associate with a Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah.
I knew before I saw them outside. I knew plenty of them. I knew a whole family of them. They never yelled and screamed, and they, you know what I'm saying? They were never aggressive. But when people think of a Hebrew Israelite, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see the brothers outside in their garb yelling at people and screaming and hollering and making it. So when people think about us, for people who never even heard of Moors, for people who never even knew nothing about a fez, now that they know, the next time they see a fez, the very first thing that they're going to think about is that. They can see us outside doing a street cleaning. They can see us outside feeding the homeless. They can see any of that, but the very first thing that's going to happen is they're going to go back to that. So because of that, yeah, we all going to be lumped in. Nobody's going to take the time to say, all right, you know what, maybe that was just them. Now, how about this? What if they wasn't even nationalized Moors? Now, I'm saying I know they are. I'm just hypothetically saying, what if they were not? What if that brother just put on a fez just because he thought it was cute? You see the type of damage that can be done? This is why we need to be, and just like Brother Mario said, we have to be on our best behavior. We can't be doing stuff like that, man. We can't do stuff like that. I yield the floor.
Let me say this right quick.
Yeah, man.
Our people think that we're attacking them personally when we say, straighten your shit up, excuse my language, pull your pants up, don't act like a thot, you're not black. They think that we're attacking their identity. They think that behavior is associated with being black. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They think that standing on the corner, hat cocked to the side, pants down, acting like a thot, moving like a quote-unquote nigga, they think that is being black. And they think that we're attacking them or saying, hey, straighten up your act. Straighten up. Don't do this. Don't do that. And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I know that persons like the police, I know they what's the word they use when they had it bad in New York, when they see a person profile. The profiling.
Yeah.
That's what they use. They're profiling you. How you look. Okay, these guys look a certain way. Okay, they do this, so we know what to look for these guys. Okay, they act that way. They come out at this time of night. Okay, the Moors, they wear fez. They're upright people, so to speak. So they're categorizing.
So that's my whole thing now. The behavior. Because if it wasn't for the behavior, we'll be all right. We'll be okay. I yield the floor.
No, just to ask you, when you just to elaborate on the behavior and what you're specifically looking at.
What am I looking at specifically when I say behavior?
Yeah, because like we have the example of those people that they showed on divorce court or whatever, right?
Okay, I can give you several examples.
Yeah.
And I don't want my people to think for one that I'm down in my people because I'm from the project. You feel me? Like I lived there for like 20 years, over 20 years. So I'm from the project. I know what it's all about. So I've lived that life. I know why they do what they do. All right. So things like standing out, hanging out all night on the corner for no fucking reason. Excuse my language, bro.
You good, boy.
Grown man just standing out. That's part of it. You know, be better proactive. You know, have a better plan for your life. You know, then you got to think about the sisters and the things that they do, the unconscious sisters. I'm talking about the unconscious sisters and the unconscious brothers. That's what I'm thinking about. All right, the dope boys, the hoes. All right, I'm talking about the robbers. I'm talking about all of these dysfunctional people in the quote unquote hood. The people that are not trying to do better. All right, not the people that's using what they have as a leverage to come up and leave whatever it is alone. I'm talking about the people that's not really trying. Those people.
Islam.
You can see it any given day. Yeah. You can see it any given day across what they call the country. If you don't believe me, all you have to do is go to one of these places, and you'll see for yourself. Go to any hood in what they call the USA, and I bet you won't feel comfortable. Why you won't feel comfortable? That's the question. Now you got to ask yourself, why wouldn't you feel comfortable? And I'm gonna give the floor with that.
Islam, if I could add on to that, I know everybody who's on the line should have seen the movie X. And I go back to Ilhaj, man, because so much for him is vital. You know what I'm saying? If you go back to that movie, and if you watch any interviews with any of the people who were there the day that this brother was assassinated, he refused to have anybody searched. He said, if I can't feel safe around my own people, that's a problem. Now, just like Brother Mario said, there's plenty places where there ain't nothing but Asiatic people that you ain't want to go by yourself. You don't want to go when the lights go off at night. When the lights come on at night, you don't want to be caught dead there. And that doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. That we don't want to be around each other. That should be hurtful. You'll go into any European neighborhood, no problem. You'll ride through ain't no problem. And most of them, and some of them really don't like you. I won't say most of them, but some of them really don't like you. But you don't have no problem riding through there until somebody starts chasing you down, shooting at you, and ready to string you up. But you don't even want to go around your own people. If now at some point, we got to look in the mirror, and we got to realize that our biggest problem is us. Our biggest problem ain't the quote-unquote so-called white man. Our biggest problem is us. We take from each other. We cheat each other. We kill each other. Everybody crying about all these police shootings. What about all the damn shootings that we do? How come quote-unquote black lives don't matter then? Police shoot somebody. It can be one police shooting per year, and then everybody's up in arms. Black lives matter, but it's 200 other shootings all year long. What, them lives didn't matter? It's okay because it's us.
At some point, we got to look in the mirror. At some point, we got to say, no, how do we get out of this? Just because you in the hood don't mean you got to stay there. And if you do want to stay there, if we all choose to stay there, it don't got to be as bad as it is. It don't got to look as bad as it is. But I'll tell you this. Cujo was here, and I'm not sure if it was the first time you were here or the second time you were here. But Cujo said a thing, and I couldn't deny it. When previously, if anybody had said it, I would have been ready to go to war with him. Cujo said, damn, Philly is dirty as shit. I couldn't deny it because I'm looking at the same trash that he's looking at. I'm looking at the piles of trash on the sidewalk just like he's looking at. In our communities, man. You don't even got enough pride in your own community not to throw trash on the ground. You live here. Your grandmother lives here. Your aunt and uncle live here. It's a trash can up the street. But now we got trash littering our grounds. We got mattresses outside. We got washing machines outside. Come on, man. Do we have no pride? Do we have no pride? Is this what we teaching our children? Not to care? Come on, man. Prophet came back here and started dropping this information in 1910. It's 218. It's 218. 1910, my man was going from barbershop to barbershop, place to place. Before the old Canaanite temple, he was on foot patrol. You're talking 108 years later, man, and we still having this conversation. We still talking about people. Well, yeah, in fact, I won't even say we're still talking about people like Marty. We will always be talking about people like Marty because they'll always be there. We got to expose people like him. We got to put him out there. I wanted to put it out there when I did the class. I was told not to. Don't put his name out there. Don't put his picture out there. Well, he put his name out there and he put his picture out there, so we don't follow up. That's all. Thanks. But it's on us. We can't look to nobody else to fix this. We got to fix this. We got to fix this. Aretha Franklin just passed away a little while ago. And if nobody don't know anything, they know RESPECT. And we like it. I yield the floor. It's long.
It's long. You got anything there, Brother Mario?
Man, the brother hit it on the head, man. I've been thinking that for many years now. Many years, man. It's a touchy subject because, like he said, it's too much like looking in the mirror. Sometimes that face in the mirror is ugly. You know, and some people can't stand that ugly. It's something, hey, bro, like straight up, it's something that really got to be discussed. But at the same time, action got to be behind it.
Yeah.
And I've taken upon myself, man, to kind of like talk to my people as much as possible. I've been, like I said, I've been speaking about this for many years privately, but now I want to be more open about it because people just dodge it now. It's like it's something that we dodge because we don't want to hurt. We can't critique each other. You know, we can't say anything about one another. You know, we can point the finger and play the victim, but we cannot critique one another.
Yeah.
Because again, it's too much like looking in the mirror. And I understand that. I really do. I really do. But we got to get over that victim, that victim mentality.
Yeah.
I hear the floor.
It's love. And when you look at it,
it's a shame.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
I was about to say it's a shame that we still carry that victim mentality. You know what I'm saying? And people keep. Now I won't say that they don't owe us because they've usurped our land. They've usurped our government. You know what I'm saying? And we basically like prisoners of war in our own land. So I won't say that they don't owe us anything, but the thing is that people sitting around acting like they owe you something and that they're going to give you something.
Yeah.
Like the brother said, we got to put action behind all these words. We can't just keep talking. We got to do things. You know what I'm saying? Right. And just like that brother did what he did, all we got to do is do positive public displays.
You know, like the street cleaners that we do, the street cleaners that you do, feeding the homeless, all of those types of things. Let people see that. Let people see the Fez and Turban do that.
Doing the good things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The problem is that the bad always outweighs the good. Always.
Islam. Yo, you want to say something?
I'm good, bro.
Oh, Islam,
I appreciate you opening up this platform so we can speak to the people about this much necessary info.
Yeah, we have to. You know, so there it is again, going back to what Noble Drew Ali told us, that Moors are active, not passive. So now you have a mandate based on what these clowns did. Now it's for every Moor should step up now. If you are exercising as Moor, something humanitarian has to be done. Pick something. Pick something. Get together with some Moors if you can. Call some of the other whoever's, try to put them on, you know what I mean, after they get down with trying to do some good. And let's reverse the polarity of this thing. Because like I said, it's already out there. And some stuff we found, something, some secret, whatever. It just made you sit back and say, wow, like people who know people are going that far to sell out? Like they're really going that far? Like this is beyond talking some BS in a video. So what is it that the Moors are going to do? Because it's all going to come down to, are you exercising like a clean and pure nation? And then you have all the different constitutions and all that as a template for you to measure yourself up to see if you've been living proper. If you don't want that, you can go to the laws of Ma'at or whatever and check off the stuff that you need to work on. But make sure when you go out there that you're not going out there on some, like these jokers, attempting to make some type of mockery of the Moorish movement. Like we're speaking from, you know, being put onto this by other people who were doing this already. So we're not something special. We're just certain people that grab the bull by the horns. Raleigh said if it's only you, then hey, then that's what it is. So whatever. It is what it is. You know? It's all about doing something. Doing some type of uplifting work. Go ahead, Mark.
I tell people the same thing you just said all the time. You know, people, you know, sometimes we go places and people say, damn, they go Coochie, damn, they go Setenra. And they look at us like we somebody more special than they are. Each one of us is special in our own right. It's just like you said though, we just a couple of the brothers who were willing to grab the bull by the horns and try to tackle it. Everybody is not capable of speaking on a stage. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not capable of doing extensive research. You know what I'm saying? Where I might not be great at research. You might be.
and you might look all this stuff up and present it to me, and then I can present it to the people. You know what I'm saying? So when you well, and this goes to everybody out there. You don't necessarily have to be making videos. You don't have to be on a platform like me, Mario, or Cujo. It's nothing wrong with. It's never nothing wrong with being a man behind the camera. People always. I'll give you another analogy. People always want to be the star. They want to be the actor. They want to be the one that people knows. How many of y'all know what Steven Spielberg looks like, or what most of these directors look like? These directors are much more wealthy than most of the actors you see on TV for all of your life. You don't have a clue who they are or what they look like. So don't ever go feeling like, oh man, we gotta wait for them to do what we got. Nah, you can do it, and you can bring it to us, and we can present it. If you're great at research, pull it up, and we can present it. I want people to understand that none of us are no more special than the next. This is one lesson that I got from somebody you all know, Taj Street Bay. Because when people see Taj, they like, oh man, and they be in awe. I remember the first time I met Taj. And Taj is just like, hey man, I'm just me. Taj sits around and laugh and jokes and have a good time just like the rest of us. Me and Cujo, Mario, we sit around and laugh just like the rest of y'all. So keep that in mind, that none of us are no more special than you or no more important than you. So don't be afraid to put in the work. Don't be afraid to even call up and say, or send an email to say, yo, this is what I found. Because we can't do it by ourselves. We need the help of everybody. Everybody that's listening to this broadcast, we need your help. Your voice can be heard just like ours. Your voice can be heard through ours. But everybody that's listening to this broadcast, we need your help. It's love.
It's love.
It's love.
You got anything to add, Mark?
Yeah, one more thing, real brief, to piggyback off Brother Setenra. I remember many years ago, before I even had a YouTube presence, man, I'm talking about behind the scenes, straight pulling strings, private. If you knew me like on a personal level, you would be like, wow, how did you ever even work up the audacity to do YouTube? And I did it just like both y'all brothers said about grabbing that bull by the horns. It was time. It was just time for me to do it, to get the message out on a higher level, should I say. But like the brother said, it's not for everybody. Do what your talent is. Do what you can do to uplift. And I yield the floor with that.
It's love.
It's love.
One of the Mortons sent this to me. I just wanted to put this on the record. Office of the Mayor, City of Dallas, proclamation. Whereas the City of Dallas recognizes that indigenous people of the lands that would later become known as the Americas have occupied these lands since time immemorial. And whereas October 12, 1492 marks the arrival of Christopher Columbus to the Americas, celebrated federally as a Columbus Day on the second Monday of October. And whereas October 12, 1492 also marks the beginning of the colonization of indigenous people that forever change indigenous identity, cultures, and achievements. And whereas many cities across the United States now celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day on the second Monday of October, and whereas the United Nations declared August 9th of each year as the International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples, and whereas the United States endorsed the United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous People, which recognize that indigenous people have suffered from historic injustices as a result of, inter alia, their colonization and dispossession of their lands, territories, and resources. And whereas the city of Dallas seeks to combat prejudice and eliminate discrimination and to promote awareness, understanding, and good relations among all segments of our city. And whereas the city of Dallas recognizes and honors all indigenous people, the city hereby urges that Indigenous Peoples Day shall be used to reflect upon the ongoing struggles of indigenous peoples of this land and to celebrate the thriving culture and value that indigenous people add to our city and country. And now, therefore, I, Michael Rawlings, Mayor of the City of Dallas, and on behalf of Dallas City Council, do hereby proclaim Monday, October 8th, 2018, Indigenous Peoples Day in Dallas, Texas.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Now, I don't want nobody that's listening to this broadcast and y'all two brothers to laugh at me. But do y'all know that I didn't know that it was Indigenous Peoples Day? I found that out yesterday. I never knew that they changed the name of it to Indigenous Peoples Day, and that because you remember before the children were off from school on Columbus Day. But now the children go to school, and I didn't know that they changed the name of it. Now it just so happened that early yesterday morning I was in the truck and I'm riding up the highway. Now here in Philadelphia, they put up this huge monument to Christopher Columbus down on what I still call Delaware Avenue. This is the street that runs alongside the Delaware River. Sheik, if you remember, that's where we went to the statue of Chief Tammany.
Right, yeah.
Right there by the highway, and the river was behind it. Right.
Yeah.
So right behind that, on the other side of the highway, is a huge monument to Christopher Columbus. It says that he was a mathematician, a cartographer, and a scientist. All bull. So now, my thinking yesterday morning was this, is that I wish our people could stand in solidarity and say, bring that statue down. Because they crying about all these Civil War statues. Or we don't want this statue of Robert E. Lee up. Or we don't want this statue of Sasquatch Jones up. Okay, how about we get that one taken down? Because we know we're the indigenous people of this land, and we know what he did to our ancestors. All you got to do is read his paperwork. So for everybody that can hear my voice, that domiciles in this territory and around this territory, and anybody else who want to be in participation, why don't we work on bringing that monument down? That'll be Indigenous Peoples Day for me. Islam.
Let's check, see if there's any more. And again, be on the lookout. More even sent a message about people, just people out here who are just about causing confusion. Charging you for documents, crazy, not charging you what the paper would cost or, their time to get to you to maybe seal something or whatever. But keep your eyes open. Be very mindful. Make sure you're studying. Make sure you're studying. So I'll put this question out there to you, Mars, if you don't mind. 823. The question is, how would someone whose mother is from the Philippines get into their proper person? Do they need to proclaim their nationality as a Moor as well? Or do they need a nationality card from the Philippines?
me find my books right quick. I'm gonna pull out my Circle 7 if one of y'all wanna comment on that right quick.
All right. You have anything immediately, Brother Mario?
Let me see. Read it to me again, brother. You said Philippines?
Yeah. How would someone whose mother is from the Philippines get into their proper person? Is the first part of the question. And then the second part is, do they need to proclaim their nationality as a Moor as well? Or do they need a nationality card from the Philippines?
Man, that's kind of tricky right there, man.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's kind of tricky, you know.
Because of the cross jurisdictions, but yeah. But let's say a general answer.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. A general answer, I guess.
Well, universally, of course, we are Moors, and the Filipinos are Moors,
right,
without a doubt. Honestly, that person could not lose with going with Moor as a nationality card because Filipinos are Moors, but technically, that quote-unquote Filipino would have to be able to decipher and break that down to whoever he or she is explaining that to.
Right.
You see where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
So I would say yes, but they would have to be cognizant and understand how to break that down and how it relates more.
Right.
If they can't, no, don't do it.
Right. Okay, now what if they're in America?
And the same situation, mother is so-called Filipino.
Yeah, mother's Filipino.
Oh, they need to come on this side.
And they're here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, they need to be on this side right here. Do exactly what we do.
And then no, go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro. Islam. So people got to keep in mind that at one point this whole planet was called Asia, and we're all Asiatics. If you go to the Philippines, you'll find people that are dark as me. If you go to China, you'll find people that are dark as me. If you actually go and look at any of them brick structures out there that are made of the Buddha, it looks like us. Right? Those are our brothers and sisters in the East. The Asiatics. When you go out there, you go to the Philippines, they know who Moors are. Right. You can go to the Philippines, they know who Moors are. So now, if they come here and they're looking to proclaim and declare their nationality, the state that they come from, the nation that they come from, that nation state is the Philippines. It still doesn't take away from their descent nature. Still doesn't take away from their descent nature. Now, if they trace their genealogy and their mothers and their mothers' mothers and their grandmothers and everything, if they Albions, then that's what it is. So we're not saying that you can just claim more just because you from the Philippines. You actually look through your genealogy. If you're indigenous and your people are Filipino, your people are the same people that came out of Kemet, that came out of Nubia, that came out of Ethiopia, they came out of all of those lands, out of Kush. Those are the people that migrated east, just like people from there migrated west. Chapter 47 of the Circle 7 Holy Quran. Anybody, whoever posed that question, read chapter 47 of the Circle 7 Holy Quran.
Yep.
That's right. But if you want to, if they want to proclaim and declare the nationality, keep this in mind: the Expatriation Act. That if they can't prove that you're now Moorish, then that's what it be. They got to prove that you're not that. How can they prove that you're not that? We can prove that they're not that. We can look at their complexion. We can look at their skin. We can look at their hair. We can look at their phenotype. And we can clearly see that they're Albions.
They're not Moors. You get a Filipino, and you get him over here, Filipino that's dark as me, just because he got straighter hair. His nose is as broad as mine. His lips are as full as mine. His cheekbones are as broad as mine. Keep this in mind. And now this is a bit of homework for any of you ones out there that's listening. If any of you have any uncles who are still alive who served in Vietnam, you ask them about their time in Vietnam and what the Vietnamese said to the brothers when they got over there. They say, so, but why y'all over here? They wanted to know why their brothers came back to that land to fight them for the Albion. Now, how far you think the Philippines is from Vietnam? That's right. See, we're not going to sit here and play these idiotic games that other people want to play. We're going to be realistic. How far is the Philippines from Vietnam? It's a hop, skip, and a jump. Now I'm saying that you ask your uncles, what was the attitude of the Filipino brothers when they saw the brothers come from America the Vietnamese brothers when they saw the brothers come from America to fight them for somebody else? They say we're brothers. So why wouldn't a Filipino be our brother? Why wouldn't a Filipino be our sister?
I remember this Moore was telling me a crazy story about same thing. I think it was uncle or something like that. Went to Vietnam and the brothers literally got sent home alive because they were brothers. Like, just because they were brothers, they made it back home.
Yep, and just like she's saying, they made it back because they were. All you got to do is go ask your uncles. Anybody who has uncles who've been to Vietnam, uncles, anybody, they'll tell you. A lot of the brothers that didn't make it back, some of them got killed in friendly fire. A lot of them got messed up on drugs. They had to deal with that Agent Orange and all of that other stuff, that experimental nonsense that they were doing. But when it comes to the Filipinos, they were not shooting them brothers down. They wanted to know, why are y'all here fighting us? Even though they made jokes out of it, where they be like, you and me, same. It's the truth.
Like, no, you, me, same is real.
Real talk.
You, me, same is real.
It's real talk. So for whoever posed that question, if there's not a Moorish Science Temple around you, then contact Cujo.
Canaanland
you want to
guy.
proclaim and declare your nationality? Don't pay $1,500 for a package. Contact Cujo. You want a nationality card? Contact Cujo. At least you know you won't be getting screwed over. At least you know you'll be being told the truth. Read chapter 47, Circle 7, Holy Quran. I yield the floor.
Islam.
Islam, bro. Islam.
Chapter 47. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between the father and the son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. In the later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominion and habitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the great Atlantis, even onto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt and those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile westward across the great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all of the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, and descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the holy land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from his descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator Allah himself. These holy and divine laws are from the holy prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science of North America. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science of America, that they will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs, in conjunction with the laws of the Prophet and the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn the Asiatics of America to repent for their sinful ways, before that great and awful day which is sure to come. The time has come when every nation must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. Islam. So we're Asiatics. They're most definitely Asiatics. Our brother and sisters in the East.
Definitely. So, exactly. So whoever asks that question, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to contact Cujo, me, Mario, anybody else. And don't let nobody tell you who you are and what you can't be. Islam.
Islam.
Be yourself.
Straight up.
And just to reiterate it, it's chapter 47 and it's verse 5. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. Their brethren from Asia.
Yep.
So don't let nobody tell you who you are.
Now, could you address this? There's more saying that there's nowhere where Noble Drew Ali said we are not Indians. So why are more saying that we're not Indians?
Okay. All right. So let's just be realistic. For whoever posed that question, this ain't India.
That question was from Apollo Bay.
Yeah. So peace and love, Apollo Bay. This is not India. The place that you know as India is not India. It's Hindustan.
Right? You got to understand that the Europeans bastardized a lot of stuff. Right? I mean, look at Asar, Aset, and Haru. Right? You got Isis, you got Horus, you got all of this Hellenism, all of these Greek names. You got to understand that they bastardized stuff. The reason the Albion called the people here Indians is because they look like the people from the East that they were accustomed to seeing. That was the West Indies. Because they got to the Caribbean, they went down to Haiti first. Well, come up here, they went down there. That's why they called it the West Indies, because the people that they saw were not unlike the people that they were familiar with from India or from Hindustan, which what they called India. You got. I mean, see, that's where study comes in. That's where reading comes in. And I know. And let me say this, because I know a lot of people are not readers. Some people are more visual, and some people are better listeners. So check out whatever videos you got to check out. Understand geography, and understand that the Albion bastardized a whole lot. The Albion bastardized you. Got you believing that you're something that you're not. So when it comes to that title, Indian, you got to keep in mind that this land was never called India, so you can't be an Indian. That land over there is not India. They're Hindustanis. They know who they are. Islam, my Islam. Can I piggyback off Brother Setenra?
Islam, man.
All right, to piggyback off Brother Setenra, I want to read an excerpt from the 8th grade final exam, Salina, Kansas, 1895. Its response to history question number 2 is to give an account of the discovery of America by Columbus. It says, they sailed from Palos on August 3rd, 1492, and headed into unknown waters. It was not long before the crews wanted to turn back, threatening mutiny, as all kinds of fears and superstitions troubled them. The courage and determination of Columbus was equal to every occasion, holding the crews to their work. Early on the morning of October 12, 1492, they sighted one of the Bahama Islands. They had found a new world. Columbus thought he had found a part of India, and so he called the natives there Indians. They have been called Indians ever since, but we know they are not. They are Native Americans. We celebrate October 12th as a school holiday, Columbus Day. I yield the floor.
Islam. Brother Abdul L. Peace and love to Canaanland and all Moors worldwide. This is in regard to class from October 2nd. To back up what the brother was saying about the hieroglyphs and the pyramids. Ancient mystic Oriental masonry. Ancient mystic Oriental masonry. Swinburne Clymer. Swinburne. This guy is serious. Swinburne Clymer. Clymer. Page 25. We are not indebted to either ancient Egypt for either religion or masonry, but to America. It is a fact that at Memphis, Egypt, in the pyramids, under the guidance of kings, the mystic rites of masonry were worked many thousands of years ago. But at that time, Egypt and the continent of America were one and the same. Another good one. After speaking of a cosmic event that caused destruction and recovery of equilibrium in the solar system that caused the global upheaval, the author goes on to say, page 26, America, known to the mystics as Atlantis, when this ruin befell, was the seat of the greatest empire that has ever existed, and its irresistible armies were terrorizing all of Europe and Asia. In my opinion, I guess that was some type of cosmic event that caused Atlantis to break apart, which over time created the Atlantic Ocean. Page 26 to 27, he goes on to state, when following the course of the constellations, all that is sublime in the prehistoric past centers upon America, Atlantis, and the curtain which has hitherto concealed the prehistoric connection between the peoples of ancient Egypt and of America is lifted. It will be seen that the people of the eagle on the Nile, being descended from the original people of the eagle on this continent, the twain are one, and the prehistoric America was the original Egypt or Eagle Land. Prior to the mighty dispensation of the days of Peleg, when the earth was divided and the great globe itself was nearly rent asunder. After doing just a quick search on Peleg in the Hebrew scriptures, Peleg is an ancestor of the Israelites, and we all know that Israelite boils down to mean those that cross the river. And it's interesting that in Genesis 10:25 and in 1 Chronicles 1:19 states that it was during the time of Peleg that the earth was divided. In Aramaic, the name Peleg means division. But lastly, the author mentions page 27 says, Agassiz, firstborn among continents, America has been falsely denominating the New World. Hers was the first dry land lifted out of the waters. Hers was the first shore washed by the ocean that enveloped all earth besides. And while Europe was represented only by islands rising here and there above the sea, America already stretched in an unbroken line of land from Nova Scotia to the far west. Agassiz is a Swiss-American biologist, geologist, and scholar of Earth's natural history. Right, so there it is again, just, Moors who are just out there studying, presenting their findings so that Moors could learn and not have the perspective of some crazy stuff they see people do with fezzes on to think that that is a representation of Moors or what it means to be Moors.
Hey, shit, can I follow up with that right quick? Because you made mention of America and Egypt.
Yeah, go ahead, Moor.
Right? I want to spell something. I'm gonna spell it slow. So if anybody who can get a pen or a piece of paper, or even if you got your cell phone there, just text this word to yourself. It's TEOTIHUACAN. I'll spell it again. TEOTIHUACAN. When I was in Mexico, a Mexican brother pronounced this word for me because I had been hearing it so many different ways. The Mexican brother pronounced it Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan. That's a city in Mexico, right outside of Mexico City. If you know geography, you know that Mexico City is out west, below Texas and New Mexico. Now, if you go and look up that ancient city of Teotihuacan, you'll find out there is the Pyramid of the Moon and the Pyramid of the Sun and a bunch of other structures around it, which was said to be 1,600 different rooms. Now, if you can, get a hold of the book by the good brother Horace Butler called When Rocks Cry Out. And you'll find that that city, Teotihuacan, way over in Mexico City, is historically known as the city that the Egyptians built. Now, if we're talking geography, and you know where Egypt is now, imagine somebody coming from all the way in Egypt, all the way to Mexico, to build some pyramids and go back to Egypt. Now,
Now, everybody will say, oh man, y'all tripping, y'all crazy. Well, I've been on pyramids in Mexico that are older than the pyramids on the Giza Strip. I'm not telling you what I've seen in the book. I'm telling you where I've been. Go do the research. And don't. I tell you what I don't do. I don't get engaged in arguments that really have no merit. I'm not going to sit there and be going back and forth and who said and who did. Listen, there's plenty of information out there. There's plenty of information out there about who was here first and what was here first. If you go and look at the Olmec statues, you're talking about 3500 BCE. It's now 2018 ACE. So you're talking 5,000 years that those statues been down there in Mexico. Did anybody say anything about any Indians? Now, if anybody believes that the quote-unquote Indian is the indigenous people of this land, then tell me, why can't you find any old statues of any Indians anywhere? And I'm a travel brother. I don't know about, I can't speak for everybody else. I'm a travel brother. Tell me, why can't you find any statues 500, 600, 700 years old, 1,000, 1,500 years old that look like the quote-unquote Native American Indian? Not one. Why not? But you can go down to Mexico and you can find statues that look like me. That's 5,000 years old. Somebody got to explain something to me. Somebody got to explain that to me. Somebody tell me, if you're not the indigenous people of this land, somebody tell me, why is there an Olmec statue in Washington, D.C.? There ain't no Mexican museum down there. Right in front of the Smithsonian of history and natural sciences or something like that. There's an Olmec statue right there. Somebody tell me, why is it back there? There's no science museum for Mexico there. Although Mexico is America, Central America. Somebody tell me why they put that in D.C. This is just stuff for you to think about and do some research on. You're the most powerful people on the planet, man.
That's real.
Wow.
The last one someone asked was, could you elaborate or give some clarity to Moors say that Noble Drew Ali said, I am a citizen of the U.S.A.
So, if anybody knows what he meant, it was unity, salvation, Allah. It says that on the back of the temple card. Unity, salvation, Allah. Now, people also got to keep this in mind. If you know when the Prophet passed form, that was 1929. Right now, we're in 2018. You got to know that the United States of America today and the United States of America then were two totally different jurisdictions, two totally different entities. We got the incorporation papers from the United States Corporation. And you got to know that the things that the Prophet did, the land mandate and things like that, is what caused the bankruptcy of the U.S., the U.S.A. But the Prophet was not talking about you being a citizen of the United States of America. People got a lot of misconceptions and people don't study. You can never be a citizen of the United States of America. All you got to do is read the Constitution. All you got to do is go back into the Magna Charta. You go back into these documents from back in history and you'll see. That is their jurisdiction. the United States. The United States and all the separate states. If anybody reads the Constitution, you'll see over and over, it'll say something about the United States and the other states. Citizens of this state and a sovereign and a separate state. This state and that state. This state and the third state. People don't know history, so they pose questions like that. The U.S.A. That's a corporate entity all day. You can't be a citizen of that.
You see, so you think more just missed that because of lack of study, or it not being presented? Yeah, it not being presented right. I was gonna say. No, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, it's lack of study and lack of understanding.
Yeah.
Because people don't know. It's a lot of people that don't know about 1861 when the Congress adjourned Senate D and dissolved the United States of America. It's a lot of people who don't know about that. It's a lot of people who don't know about the coup of 1861. It's a lot of people who don't know history. So when they tell you, if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going, it's the truth. Because you gotta know history. When we hear these guys in the temple say, "Oh man, why are y'all talking about that history stuff?" When he said that's a cool thing a month ago on the show. Why y'all always bring up history? Why y'all always talking about history? What got history got to do with today? It has everything to do with today. If you don't know what happened, you can't move accordingly.
Yeah.
If you don't know in order for the Constitution to be ratified, that there has to be a constitutional convention, and that it has to be agreed upon by 2/3 of the states present for anything to be passed, then you should know that anything past 7 articles and 10 Bill of Rights is not positive law. You should know that it wasn't lawfully ratified.
So would that include when Morris bring up 13th Amendment 20 sections and all that? So that means that's void too then.
Even with the 13 sections, if I'm not mistaken, in section 13 that says Africans cannot be citizens. Right? Even that is negative law because it was not lawfully ratified. Just because they did it don't mean that it's lawful. There are rules there. See, people got to understand. The Constitution was put in place to keep them in check. If there's no constitutional convention, there's no ratification of the Constitution. There was no more. You understand? So when people say, well, the original 20 sections, yeah, okay, that's all cool, and we see what it says, but it was not lawfully ratified. But the bottom line is, what's in it is still true. It doesn't mean that it's not true because it wasn't lawfully ratified. We can't be citizens of that corporate jurisdiction. That's their jurisdiction, not ours. That's the whole purpose of anybody who has a $1 note, pull that thing out your pocket and turn it over to the backside. What you're going to see on the left is a pyramid. What you're going to see on the right is an eagle. You look under the pyramid, it says the Great Seal, and you look under the eagle, it says of the United States. You put those together. That's what that word of is. It joins that statement. The Great Seal of the United States. That pyramid is the obverse. That's the front side. That's the original jurisdiction. The bird is the reverse. That's the secondary jurisdiction. And that, if you look on the back of that $1 note and it says the Great Seal of the United States, then why don't they ever show the pyramid when the president's talking? Why is it that they only show the bird? Because that's their jurisdiction. We can't be a part of that jurisdiction. They can't be a part of the pyramid, our jurisdiction. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not making this stuff up. What I'm saying is factual. All you got to do is do the research. Go read the Constitution. Go read the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Go read the Articles of Incorporation, the Articles of Confederation. Go and read this stuff. And you'll see what I'm talking about.
Islam.
Islam.
Bro Mario, you got any closing remarks?
Man,
I know you got stuff going on. I know you got stuff.
I'm just sitting back enjoying the bill, bro. Just to all the brothers and sisters, you know, keep that foundation handy. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, stay positive. Stay away from all the BS, you know, and know you are a Moor, no matter what no one says. Know that you are a Moor. I give the floor.
Islam, and just if you just want to put a plug on your site and whatever else you got.
Okay, yeah. Publishedinfo.net. My website is. I tell people this all the time, so let me put this on the record again. My website is basically based on remedy for those that's ready to actually be competent and handle their affairs. And I show ways of how I've done things in the past that worked for me, and I share it with people. So it's about remedy on my website, publishedinfo.net.
Islam. Brother Setenra.
Islam.
You got some closing remarks, and you want to plug the class and all that.
Yeah, if anybody in the Philadelphia territory who has not been to the York House, or anybody in any surrounding anybody who wants to come, we'll be there the 13th, which is this Saturday, and the 27th. We'll be there at noon. The address to that building is 5325 Old York Road. 5325 Old York Road. Anybody who needs to contact me, you can contact me by email at askfezprov@gmail.com. ASKFEZPROV@gmail.com. And the only closing remarks that I have is that to all conscious Moors, to all unconscious Moors, I love all of y'all, and I'm gonna be here until my last breath is taken. As discouraging as this can be sometimes, there ain't no quitting me. I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna be fighting. I need y'all to stand behind me. I need y'all to stand in front of me. I need y'all to stand next to me and fight along with me. Islam, peace and love. Islam to that, bro.
Islam. Peace and love to all the Moors. Don't forget, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. MHHS, eyes wide open. Call in number 425-569-5201. 425-569-5201 and 347-945-5899. 347-945-5899. Give thanks for the Moors, for the build. Give thanks for the cipher. And don't forget MHHS later. Don't forget rvbaypublications.com and willofallaw.com. And we're going to see the Moors. We'll see the Moors this weekend. You already know what's up.
Islam to that Moor. Peace.
Peace, Moors.
Islam. Peace.
People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel that they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. We, their hearts, become fearful just thinking of loved ones who go away forever, or of moments that could have been good but weren't, or of treasures that might have been found but were forever hidden in the sand.
30 more say the prophet's name won't teach the same universal lessons, keep you slave chains on your brain. Wanting Moorish presidents when that's the prophet. If he was around, most grand sheiks' heads he'll off it. Guilty by association, off your head too for riding with dirty Moors that made a mockery of Drew Ali. Dirty Moors from Canaanland to Cali used to be LB, now they claim Ali. Keep thinking that they're for you, but get ignored. Giving lessons in pieces like a jigsaw. Leave you puzzled, your third eye muzzled, mind smuggled. Know how to say the right thing, keep lies subtle. Really win with truth bait, lying eyes and truth face. Ego Moors make you carry their suitcase or hold their umbrella. He walks like a fruitcake, prophet watching from the soul plane, the route you take. Whose prince will you step in? Demons or genuines? MSTA members or Moorish Americans?
Don't hear what's coming to me. You don't hear what's coming to me. You don't hear what's coming to me. You don't hear what's coming to me.
90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali but not true. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty more crew, causing confusion. This dirty more crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her can make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors, dissing the mothers, putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others. Fake prophets, heads on the coin, and pictures next to the noble. Today the treasury balance is zero, the total. Study, study, study. When you're finished, study yourself. Dirty Moors judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study, study, study. When you're finished, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study, study, study. When you're finished, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out death smell from Oscar Mayer. Study, study, study. When you're finished, it's never finished. Dirty Moors selling status correction clinics. 500 for class pass. I'd rather watch Taj and have a clear perspective on the Moorish path. Faculty and student, Moorish Heritage History School. Don't endanger your life with a fool. They rhyme making no sense to make dollars and holler. On our grounds, rounds leave Moors dead in parlors. So-called blacks call them cracker, then get called Canadian and shun Moors that say they're not Canadian. This world is full of crazy men with no knowledge of self, but got the most expensive cars and flat screens on the wall shelf. Going on a way to try to help you change what you won't. And I hardly hear your opinion of Marcus Garvey, but Steve Harvey stands out, true, cool, and jester, making a fool of you and himself for wealth. To me, those sellouts need to get bodied or exiled to Dr. Moreau's island with Gentiles and reptiles. Fake slave ships stacking bodies and piles, giving fake Jews slave respect, not giving me smiles, calling children kids, chasing after Taji guys, supremacy, use albino and half-breed spies. We catch trespassers with razors and mesh, pedophile, torture, scotch bonnet and open flesh. Traitors get the shitty end of the stick. Our leaders murderers should have been crushed with pyramid bricks. Huey Newton and Hampton killers should be in front of a squad shooting by any means necessary. Get out the beast's belly. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry. Making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry. Making me comments mad derogatory. It's all about balance, my art the beam. Sellouts made it mainstream. Underground is almost unseen. Gay A&R signed the rappers' contracts in blood. Took his soul. Body didn't fall with a thud. He's a zombie, dyed hair, dress wearing thug. Burn that garbage, too much to sweep under the rug. Police can't collar a crime without snitches. You're lucky to escape their custody, not dead with just stitches. Make you hate your hair, take Hindus to Ganesha possess you. And raising your blood pressure. Anything to do with Moors, they don't want you near. Don't search where it's black, you won't find it there. No matter how much you beg, they won't tell you where. No matter how much you don't have, they won't tell you here. Negroes weren't the first slaves, no reparations first. While you wait for your reparations, it looks like a hearse. They won't pay you reparations anyway. Only if you agree to make yourself black and gay. Instead of towards Moors, they want you to stray. Won't find your mind when it's in disarray. Thinking being European is the only way. Hurling insults at your creator. She will get you later. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry. Making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry, making the comments mad derogatory. What's the reason for the treason is the question and the lesson. I hear most professing, but really possessing. Taking minds messing with thought patterns and pathways. Nero wanna be a hero when they really cipher, not Neo, not Morpheus or Gillen finding Nemo. Selling out with no remorse, you and yours. Calling you black, showing you who's the boss. Always marching, but never thought sue the police force or do like Haitians. Add some voodoo, of course. You might hurt them unexpected. It could be bloody. Feel yourselves curl and your hair stand from walking duppies. Looked, all of a sudden, judge yelled and wept. In court, judge with cold sweats and throat strap. You can't talk yet, cause the candle was lit before I left. Forget Africa. Hip hop was the grand theft. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry, making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flows mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry, making me comments mad derogatory.
And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're fully aware and awake to what's going on in the world. That's what conscious rap means. So if you got conscious rap, that means you got unconscious rap. That means you got motherfuckers that's unconscious rapping. That means they sleeping. They still under the spell of Leviathan. They still under the spell of King.
Call me brother man, I'm not the rubber man. Though I keep my Nazis in affairs wrapped with some rubber bands. Burning out the Ku Klux Klan and with the Grand Dairy Queen misters. Just butts of guns I'm giving. Trying to make more sovereign citizens. These minions help kill your prophet, stole your treasury millions. You heard it from your brother man. Now the smothers sell out. Test links in K2 Kush days. Keep me red out. I got the knowledge to make these silly hoes question the pimping directors of music videos. Gaylords and persons with strap-on boots with heels. Too much graphic art faces. Boobs are not real. Since MCM and Truth, they use Timberland boots to get us all caught up in fashion, not the simple men roots. Got our people on dogmatic, not metaphysic. Exoteric, not esoteric is how you missed it. So out of it, you couldn't feel the natural mystic blowing through the air like it didn't give a shit. I hear the dirty Moors dissing, cause I said profanities. A lot of these grand sheets need to take off the panties. Pull the thong out your crack vest wearing sash, nigga. Return to where the prophet found you, Negro, nigga.
It's time to choose a side. You either positive or you negative. You either evil or you good. You understand what I'm saying? Choose a side, nigga. I know what side I'm on.
I throw a Molotov at the priest that works for the beast. All they want is our people to rest in peace. No intention of allowing more stress to ease. Cracker won't go home to spread himself the disease. Genocidal epidemic kill us in high proportions. Instead of mummified, we stay boxed in coffins. Mayors attend funerals for PR purposes. Where's the police escort? He replied with nervousness. He said, I don't have those numbers or connections to have Metro Police lead your friend's funeral procession. That's coming from Mr. Mayor, black community player. No question in the hoods, dropping out boxes of weapons. Then blame black on black crime or natural causes. Plus those doctors aren't on point but are forbid. Natural mystics prove they're not holistic. Hypocrite oaths make your children autistic.
I'm at the point now where I'm saying I'm tired of mixing the medicine with the food. I'm tired of playing that game. Now I'm shoving straight medicine down your fucking throat, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Straight doses of medicine and then shove down your throat. I don't give a fuck if it turns you off or not. But if it do turn you off, then you're stupid, ignorant motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Don't judge like a cover of your favorite book. Visit you in your dream can with the hook. Paralysis overtook. So shook, stop, look, listen with precision. MC on a mission, vision, past senses and endless. Cypher with active Moors, beat you with facts senseless. Have your mind defenseless when the truth enters. Outflow reminds me of Omar Bay, Algonquin embers. Tap your pioneer out what some man remembers. All the lies told to your mind dismembered. Circle broken into quadrants, either 7 in the center, compass G between the square. Baphomet of Templars, Warlock. Call on my witch mothers to maim them. The same wise spirits burned at stakes in Salem. Torture with vagina pair, survive, bobbing for apples. Contort thumb, slide, wrist out, tight shackles.
I always got something deep to say. Every time around. I always got something deep to say. Every time around. I always got something deep to say. Every time around. I always got something deep to say. Every time around.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors of men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized, dirty Moors, tongues cut out, left earless. Cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnappers, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off. Disrespecting the mother Ras Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin Bey, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorant, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same land, man. Canaanland is actually bigger than the landmass they know is the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they can just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to green. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear hoarse voices, see frog faces, and who's for feet. Demons we run with spitfire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing. Forget back teeth, new Moors are an issue. Get Ginsu. Maybe a dream visit from Vishnu, a nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo. Dealing with my trust issues through vigilance, active Moors are militants, SPLC dirty Moors call that sovereign citizen, lying for views. They notice all the empty pews. Bends need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen base sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts for teaching birthright street level, keeping it beating us.
To any members of the MSTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MSTA. I got issues with
the Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirty's guilty of fraud if dually scrutinize their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Hand in their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors never Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors knowledge the Commonwealth. Dirty's claim more, but really on the straw man help. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little more two status syndicates. In more faith, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island are lying so intricate.
Long days and long nights. But this message needed to be heard.